The patch teaser for tomorrow just got revealed, and in this video we're gonna go over all of the potential nerfs as well as all of the buffs we will be seeing tomorrow probably. We have 6 nerfs and 11 buffs, so there's definitely plenty to talk to. So let's dive into it.
You are not prepared!
So this is the teaser image we just got, and we can see that Hydration Station, Dr. Boom, Ziliax, Lamplighter, Concierge, and Chia Drake will be getting nerfed, but we also have plenty of buffs to talk to, so let's check them out card by card. Starting off with Hydration Station, and we can definitely see that this card has been seeing quite a lot of play both in Warrior and in Druid. And honestly, the main culprit for the nerf here would probably be the Warrior, even though as you see the win rate for Warrior is not as high, but the games are definitely hella high, and the play pattern is just very annoying. And right now the card states that it is resurrecting 3 of your highest cost taunt minions. And I think this is either gonna get increased in price, even though I don't think that's really gonna do much. But more realistically speaking, this should probably start resurrecting different taunt minions for you, because right now people are just cheating out 2 or 3 Unkill Axes with it, and they just keep on spamming it over and over again like that, and that's just no fun. So I think that is definitely what the change here should be, and it probably will be. Another hint you can notice here is also Dr. Boom is in the mix, and he's kind of in the same boat as Hydration Station. Right now people are just using Boom to resurrect their 2 Unkill Axes that way. Like you play 1 Unkill Axe, it dies, the Reborn also dies, and you have 2 for this guy to summon back, and that's also quite annoying. And I do believe this should also be the same change with him as well. He is gonna start resurrecting 2 different friendly mechs, and the rest is probably still the same. As for the Ziliax, we can see that this is the module for the discounts. The discount module has definitely been overutilized quite a lot. This is the -1/-1 for every minion on the boards. And we can see all sorts of different decks with very high gameplay and high win rates are basically using that exact Ziliax. This is the one, costs 1 less for each minion in play. Right now this thing costs 5 mana. They could bump it up a little, like 6, 7, something along those lines is a potential change. Because right now things like Flood Pally basically get to play Showdown, and that is right off the gate -6 for this thing, which is pretty huge. Another thing they might be looking at is maybe making this just for your minions in play, because we have been hearing the problem with people actually being punished for playing minions on the board, and if this is only according to your stuff, then it might be only getting discounted by what you've played, and in that case, Flood Pally is actually going to be taking quite the hit, because Showdown into 0 mana Ziliax has been a hell of a good play. And right now, with that situation, Showdown is going to discount by exactly the amount it's costing, so it's not really discounting, it ain't doing anything. So yeah, do let me know what you guys think in the comments below what the nerf here will be. Definitely has a lot of room for creativity. Moving now to Lamplighter, this has been quite the strong cards. It has enabled Elemental Mage, Elemental Rogue, and Elemental Shaman quite a lot, and you can see all of those decks are played a ton, as well as they have pretty good win rates, so definitely a great option for easy cheap legend. And I have heard people actually proposing that this could become elusive, which is basically gonna really hinder the possibility of rogues spamming the hell out of it. Like you literally could be playing so many Lamplighters with the help of Sonya and Shadow Steps and Breakdance and Bounce Around and all of that nonsense. And yeah, I think that's the most toxic part for this guy. Other people have been speculating that this thing is gonna start only dealing damage to minions. I think that completely kills the card and the point of the deck, so I don't think that's gonna be the option. And there's always the option for them just to increase the price. Honestly, if this thing becomes 5 mana, it's gonna be a lot harder for rogues to really start spamming the hell out of it. If you bring it up to 4 mana, you can still get extra stuff with the help of Sonya, but you're also gonna have to be using the Scoundrel, so that's something to think about. But yeah, time will tell what the real nerf is gonna be. We also have Concierge here, obvious very heavy hitter card for the new expansion. People have been thinking that this card will be absolutely broken. The early days of the meta did not prove that right, but a few days later, they definitely were right in the end, because this card is absolutely breaking the game right now with literally up to 60 plus damage for 0 mana. Which is absolutely insane. Concierge, honestly, I don't get why they keep printing cards that get the discount things below 1 mana. Like, honestly, every card like this just has to state the card cannot cost less than 1. I'm not sure if they're gonna go that route. Definitely wish they did. It'd be a lot cooler if they did. But yeah, again, let me know in the comments what you guys think is gonna be nerfed here. Do you think Blizzard is gonna hit the nail on the head, or are they gonna be beating around the bush, as they often do? And lastly, for the nerfed cards, we also have Chia Drake, which has been a part of a lot of broken Druid decks for quite a while now. If I remember correctly, Chia Drake got buffed initially, and now it's gonna be getting nerfed, and I wonder what that's gonna be. Like, what was the original Chia Drake looking like, by the way? Oh, it used to be a 2/4. Then it became a 3/5. Well, maybe they're just gonna revert the buff, huh? Like, the card definitely seems pretty broken. So I would not be surprised if they just reverted back to 2/4 so they can actually reduce the tempo Druid has right now. Something along those lines definitely sounds very plausible, because what else could you do to this guy? Like, I guess you could bump it up to 5 mana. The mini still remains pretty busted. I mean, that's was the case before as well. So yeah, I think they're just gonna revert it back. That's about it for the 6 nerfs. Now we can move down and consider what could be happening with all of the buffs. So let's start off with the Sandwich Maker, or whatever the hell that card is called. The Right Cleaver. Close enough. Wow, you can see that literally nobody can make this card work right now. Like 30 and under 30% win rate decks with it. The concept definitely looks strong. The card definitely is pretty creative, but so far it seems to be absolutely useless. Maybe they gotta reduce the price a little so you can actually play this out a lot earlier. The removal it gives you is quite interesting, but for now it's just a little bit too slow, so I think you're gonna have to slash the price a little in order for this thing to start seeing somewhat of a play. Next up we have Ranger Gilly, and this is also another card that actually sounded like it has a good amount of potential. It does give a decent amount of buff for all of your minions, but it's only for the ones in your hand. And again, maybe you just gotta either reduce the price for this thing, or maybe the buff should be on hand, deck, and battlefield. That's also an interesting line of thinking, but probably reducing the price is the normal way to go with things here. Next up we have Razzle Dazzler, 7 mana 4/4, summon a random 5 cost to repeat for each spell school you've cast this game. Wow, apparently there is a working archetype with this thing, but it's honestly still just basically a Volf Shaman? No, not really, it's actually something else completely. Wow, how the hell is this thing working, man? I mean, it's still basically the core of this deck is still basically the win condition with the Horn as well as the good cookie outcomes, but yeah, it has also this thing in there for some extra random BS, I guess. And again, maybe slash this guy's price a little, that might help. 6 mana 4/4, still summon 5 drops, perhaps. We have a decent amount of spells in here right now, like we have Nature, Fire, Fel, Shadow, so should be summoning quite the good boards. But yeah, I think again, price reduction should be the way to go. Natural Talent, get a random Naga and a random spell, they cost 1 less. Honestly, whatever you do with this card, it should remain trash. Like, unless they make it into a Discover a Naga and Discover a spell, like, it's just way too random, man. Like, what is this, Arena? It really feels like a card that it needs to have Discover on it in order for it to actually make some sense. But I don't know, we will see what they go with. Next up we have Buttons, and this is a 5 mana 5/5 that draws you a ton of stuff. People have been saying that this is basically a Magatha, but worse, so it's kinda fighting with Magatha on this 5-drop spot, so again, maybe making this guy a little bit cheaper might be the way to go. We can see there's some actual decks with it, but I think they're just running it in order to have access for the other cards, not so much for the card itself, so there's that. Next up, we have Cruise Captain Laura, and again, I really believe cards like these should have Discover on them. Because 2 random locations, who cares about random, man? Like, random is just a little bit too random in today's day and age. You gotta be consistent with what you do, and being able to discover both the locations could be the way to go. Price reduction on the card could be okay-ish, but honestly, getting a couple of random locations still feels hella bad, especially for a freaking legendary. Like, what the hell was that even? Next up we have Tsunami, and honestly, this card is not bad. Like, I'm not sure why they're touching this card. It's not that it's bad, it's just that the archetype for random casts doesn't seem to be as hot. Really not sure what they're gonna change here, like, what could you really realistically do without making this OP as hell? So, again, I don't know, you tell me in the comments, guys, what do you think is gonna be happening here, huh? Like, if you reduce this down to 7, might be a little bit too early to be dropping, you know? Like, that would be my first guess, but I don't know, time will tell. Next up we have Service Ace, 3 mana free. After this minion gains attack, reduce the cost of the highest cost card in your hand. This seemed like something that apparently this has been seeing some play in Sith Mage, but with little to no success. Again, I don't know, what can you really do with a card like this? Maybe reducing the cost would make it see a little bit more play, but is that really gonna fix it? Perhaps. I can imagine some kind of aggro buff pally can also work out with this. You definitely have quite a few cards that are gonna be easily buffing this guy's attack, so being able to discount Sith like that easily could be cool, but also I feel like it might be more of a pally card. Maybe Lionessa Pally is gonna start seeing some play again, even though it proved to be not such an amazing deck so far. That might be the way to go here. Next up we have Twilight Medium, and this card is kind of cool. Kind of sounds like a Highlander Priest card with the genie, whatever the hell that guy was called. Wow, this deck doesn't even run it, but it runs this guy. That sounds kind of awful. But yeah, I think it might actually work out a little bit better if this card, if you are running the 4 mana legendary that shows you the 2 next top decks you're going to be getting. So again, this thing kind of looks like it could get its price reduced a little. Like, what else can you really realistically do to a card like this? It's a battle cry. It's a battle cry, so it happens when you want it. Would be a little bit too strong if you do this on the last top deck card you've received. So yeah, I think they're just gonna reduce the price to this thing as well. Next up we have Nightshade T. 2 mana, deal 3 damage to a minion, deal 2 damage to your hero. This card works, I'd say this card makes a little bit more sense for the self-damaging Pirate Demon Hunter, which has been seeing some play already, but without this thing, because it's just a little bit too expensive. So on that front, they might reduce the price to this thing, but they're also gonna have to touch the stuff here, like 2 damage, 1 damage, 2 damage, 2 damage, something along those lines, I don't know. And technically you could also be using this on the 2/4 Pirate, and that way you can maximize on its damaging effect as well, with the Aurana card Tourist in play. That might be interesting as well. So yeah, I think they're gonna slash this down to half the price, but also the damage here is gonna get changed as well. And lastly we have Convincing Conman. Replay, it's a 4 mana 4/4 pirate with Battle Cry. Replay the last card you've played from another class. So far we can see this is absolute ass. And honestly, what can you even do to this guy, man? Make it a 3 mana 3/4 or something? I honestly don't know again. But yeah, that's gonna be it for the teaser. These are all the buffs and nerfs. Do let me know in the comments what you guys think they will be. And tomorrow, same time, same place, we should be seeing what the real nerfs will be. I will again be covering the actual nerfs and buffs, and I will be telling you about my thoughts on what that might actually mean for the meta. So yeah, if you're serious about Hearthstone, drop a like and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget you can have some Hearthstone coaching, and I will keep on providing you with the best content I can. Thanks for watching, I'm Kris05, and I'll see you in my next video or stream.